That was, man.
Welcome to the Tracy Trendy Show, my lovelies. If you didn't catch Daonte's live, I'm going to give it to you in a condensed form. He has Lindsey and some YouTubers, Auntie's Advice and Kiki and Kabit. But Lindsey, oh, she's refreshing in this video, but she dropped some major tea on what Scott gave her. Oh, yes, she did. So, with no further ado, I'm going to skip ahead because this video live is an hour long, and we got things to do. My lovely's got things to do. So I'm going to break it down to you, and I hope you guys enjoy. Let's see. Let me get it all the way to the good part here when Lindsey comes on. Hold on one second. Let's get it right. I think Lindsey's coming on at this point. Okay, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit. Okay, here she is. All right, my lovelies. Listen for the tea. It's going to come pretty soon about Mr. Scott, okay? And we can all, if you haven't subscribed already, my lovelies, you know what you got to do. Subscribe, because the people who subscribe get the tea first. All right? I'll catch you all. I'll join in there a little bit, especially when she drops that tea. All right, my lovelies. No further ado. Here he goes.
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. I knew we weren't going to do it. I'm not ready for no live. I was getting ready for bed.
You spoiled it. It was supposed to be next week.
That's
I know.
It'll come out next week. Lindsey, did you hear what I was just saying?
Yes, Auntie, but you got to realize, like, those producers are asking those questions.
Gio, I'm going to just sit back and listen. I ain't saying a word.
And so that's why you gave up the ghost on what you did not do with Wayne.
Yeah, well, they had asked, well, why have you never been with Blaine? Why are y'all not, y'all look cute together. Why have you not been with Blaine? Well, I couldn't be with anybody that sold drugs for me. So I did that one time and it worked out terribly. My ex Travis that ended up being the guy that I ended up shooting. That was the only relationship with somebody that I slept with that was selling drugs for me, and it was a terrible idea.
Did you say shooting? You shot him?
What you look like that for, Daonte?
Is it?
Yeah. Don't you leave me?
Stay here, protect you. So, Lindsey, Lindsey, let me ask you a question, girl, lady to lady, woman to woman. Do you think that be too hard on you, Lindsey?
I think it's hard to listen to. It's been a learning experience, but it's been difficult for me to learn how to take what people say in and not get personally injured by it. Because, like, imagine if you were walking down the street and random people walk up and was like, girl, the eyeshadow is bad. Girl, your makeup look like it's from 2020. Girl, what are you wearing those boots for? Like, can you imagine? Like, it was just like almost nonstop. But I try to take things at a constructive criticism at this point. Not always successful with it, though.
Would you like more constructive with Lindsey?
No, Auntie, you do you.
But I don't be telling no lies, though, Lindsey. I don't be telling no lies. I don't make
no, but okay. When you were talking about the last time, we talked about the warrants. How I got out of prison with the warrants. Remember, I got out of prison with warrants. And you talked about on the show that you didn't understand how that had happened, and you didn't understand how I left prison without an address.
Oh yeah, when you suppose. Okay, so now, Lindsey, here's the thing. Even if I know, I'm only going to review what I see, right?
Right.
What I see. So, the last time that we heard anything on the show, Daonte was saying that you were supposed to be paroling with him. Remember? Next, get out and you're not paroling with him. And that I know that work in the prison system, that when you get out of jail, you have to have an address on file on where you stand. You're saying that that's not true?
I left as a homeless. I left with no address. I had to turn an address in within 72 hours to my probation officer.
Okay, so
you can leave prison as homeless, but you do have to have somewhere within 72 hours because your probation officer has to be able to check for you.
Right.
But, like, they're not going to make you stay in prison because you don't have an address. And the immediate release really messed us up too.
You got it immediately released because of COVID.
No, I don't know why they put that. That's not true. I did not get immediate release because of the COVID outbreak. I got immediate release because of the First Step Act. I think maybe it was just too much for them to try to edit in. Like it was too much information. But that prison does not care if we catch, every one of us could catch COVID and half of us could drop dead, and they ain't letting us out early. That is not how the system works.
Okay. So Lindsey, so I got it wrong. 72 hours. So why didn't you go with your?
So my mom kind of cracked down on me a bit after this time. You know, the first time I went to prison, it was, you know, the addiction, and I made a lot of mistakes, and I was young. The second time I violated, I made a choice to relapse. I made a choice to go back to prison. And that was a big difference for my mom. In my mom's opinion, you know, that wasn't the same at all.
So you set your ass up there and your whole name, security number, address, telephone number, your best friend address in that table is Scott's table. Wasn't that why you did? Because you know you ass Lindsey.
I did
in that thing. You called like
Auntie. That man gave me the clap. That man, they did not show that. That man gave me chlamydia.
Now, my lovelies, that is the tea. Can you imagine? Oh my goodness. Okay, this is what hey, let me shut up and let you guys listen.
The one and only STD I've ever had, I got from this 52-year-old. He gave me the clap. He needs to be happy all I did was carve up his desk. That was my hell. This man gave me the clap.
Are you serious?
Yes, on my life.
Is that why his lip was up like that?
He says he has an allergy problem, like with basically like everything. Now it does get worse when he eats spicy foods. It swells up like it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger the more he eats spicy foods. It grows.
I don't believe that.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I don't believe that.
But I know it gets worse. But I never went away. I never saw it go anywhere. But it did get worse.
So Lindsey, what you want me to do is you want me to ease up a little bit, and you want me to make sure I have all my fucking facts straight.
You ain't got to ease up at all. If there's any confusion, you ask me and I'll help you out with the unconfusion, like with the warrant thing, but you ain't got to ease up at all because I'm learning to take things as constructive criticism. I now wear my makeup better. I read fashion magazines. I don't think I dress too much like the 1980s anymore.
Was I saying all of that?
No, a lot of that was on the Reddit. A lot of that was a lot of people have been very forward about my style.
Reddit, I say Reddit.
No, that was
of society. They're horrible on Reddit.
Sass, that's right. Sass did say that. Sass calls me a lot lizard. And Daonte's like, well, why does that bother you? I said, Daonte, do you know what a lot lizard is? He's like, no. A lot lizard is a prostitute that prostitutes out of gas stations for drugs. That is a lot lizard. He's like, well, she calls Destiny dumpster fire. I'd rather be dumpster fire. I want to be dumpster fire instead of lot lizard. Huh?
Sherelle gave me the name Daonte, so.
I mean,
she don't use it no more, but she used to.
At least that's creative.
And I love Sherelle, so.
At least that's creative, though.
No, it ain't creative. I ain't kidding.
So, Lindsey, let me ask you a question. How often do you watch my reviews?
Okay, well, don't forget, this is the first season I've ever been out of prison while the show aired.
I answered to you pretty much.
Oh,
the first time
Scott, you was with Scott, you wasn't watching my reviews?
I went in the same week it aired.
Wow. Okay.
I was only home 6 weeks.
Watched anyone. You haven't watched anybody's reviews, really.
No, me and Daonte watched reviews together when I got home. It was like a LAL intervention. We sat down with tablets and phones for hours and just watched. bloggers and YouTubes. And no. When I watched Kiki and Kibitz last week was the first time I'd ever seen a YouTube live before, or a live.
Appreciate
That was the
it.
very first live I had ever been. I was excited. I was like trying to drive, and I was like, it's not working. I'm in Mississippi. I keep losing signal.
I be scared to come in auntie live chats now because them people hate me in them live chats.
It's 50-50.
I be seeing them sometimes. They be like, "Is Daonte in here? He
The
better not
ones
be in
that
here."
don't like your ass, Daonte, they don't like you with a passion. The ones
Yeah,
that
they be hiding in Auntie's chats.
yeah.
I be seeing them. He better not be in here. Sometimes I be want to say, "I'm here," and what? But then I be like, "No."
Well, say it. I mean, you know,
Yeah. Daonte, come on, say
don't
it.
be hurt.
I ain't got time no more, man. I used to. I don't really.
So, Lindsey, are you going to be doing the interview?
I don't know. I haven't asked. I've never done. I did. I've done one interview ever, and so me and Daonte were like talking about the fact that like I don't know. We were kind of like wanting to ease me into it, just because I really don't have a lot of.
One interview with Shrill, didn't you?
Yeah, while I was in prison,
Okay.
that was my one interview ever.
Okay.
I was so excited about that interview too. Everybody, look, I got girls doing my nails with acrylic paint and floor wax. Okay, my bunkie Mariah did my hair for like 2 hours. We wrapped it in socks and then touched it up for hours. Girls were doing my makeup. Well, I mean, it's exciting. Nothing happens in there. We was excited.
Aww.
They were getting her all ready for her interview.
So, Lindsey, what do you do to guarantee and to keep yourself out of prison this time? What have you changed? Here's the interview. What have you changed? And what are you going to keep yourself out of prison?
Church and therapy are my two biggest supports. I'm in therapy 8 times a month. I'm in church twice a week. My best friends are all the ladies from my church group. So that support makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
I mean, phenomenally. I'm in a reentry and addiction therapy every Wednesday night as a group. And then I take specialized mental health care therapy twice a month. And then I see a psychiatrist once a month. And then I see my probation team to work on goals each month, once a month.
So let me ask you something. So that's all sounds good, Lindsey. That's wonderful. And that's what you should be doing. Congratulations to you. I support you in those endeavors. But who are the people hanging around with? Because, there is a theory that if you show me 5 of your close friends, you show me you. Have you separated from the people that you've been hanging with in the same juke joints and stuff, Lindsey?
That's been the hardest part, because when I found recovery, like really found recovery, I was so excited about it. Like life was just so much better, and I wanted everybody else to find recovery too. So all my old friends, I'm like, oh my gosh, like you need to try this. It's so awesome. It's like, it's like a new product that you think is amazing. You want everybody to try it. And I think especially with me trying to bond TC out, especially when I first got out, everybody was telling me this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. I kept thinking I was going to be able to save people or push them into recovery, and it's not going to, it doesn't work.
It's bad when I'm telling you, stop trying to save somebody, right? Like,
I know, but you have to realize, like, I've known TC since he was in diapers. We went to grade school together. We went to high school together. TC, and everybody was saying, oh, she was trying to bond him out. He must have owed her a lot of money. He must have had bricks. The only brick TC ever seen was on the side of a building. That boy ain't got nothing. He is a drug addict, and that is it. And I had talked to him. They did not. They cut out where I had the conversation with him, because TC called from the jail, and me and Blaine talked to him. And I told TC, I will bond you out if you promise to go to rehab. And then Blaine actually called and got him a spot in rehab. We got the fee waived. They were going to take him for free. So like they weren't, again, a time issue. They weren't able to show any of that. But I had it in my idea, if I could bond him out and get him to rehab, everything will be better. Mm-hmm. And according to, I think, what news channel picked up TC's most recent arrest? Daonte, I sent it to you.
Huh?
So TCE has gotten arrested again.
So let me ask you something, Lindsey. A lot of convicts, especially on this show, go back to jail numerous times. Do you believe that you are institutionalized?
Absolutely.
Sarcasm.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to become institutionalized to survive in there. It's not for the weak. It's not for, the emotional. You learn how to suppress all of that stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, you can't do any type of long-term time and not be affected by it. It's taking me, that's what my reentry therapy is for, is me learning how to live out here again. Because I'm gonna be honest, I carried around plastic cutlery in my purse for almost 2 months, Daonte?
Oh,
Yeah.
I keep me a good little plastic knife now.
But I did it because I couldn't handle the taste. I mean, the sound of a regular fork against my teeth. It would make my skin crawl. I couldn't eat, or I couldn't drink out of glass cups. I couldn't eat off of silverware. People walking around a whole lot freaked me out. The way that people talk and move out here is just vastly different. People touch you really easily out here. You don't get touched very often in prison. If you get touched, you're ready to see what's going on. People don't just walk up and like pat you on the shoulder. So yeah, it's taken a lot. I was very institutionalized. And it's sometimes I still notice little stuff that can get me, but for the most part, after about 6 months, things have evened out.
Okay. Well, you stay in therapy and do what you need to do. I'm pretty sure you're going to show your ass, because most of y'all have to show your ass to stay on the show. And I'm very interested in seeing the outcome, all of that kind of stuff that, that happens with you and Daonte. I know Daonte. I talked to Daonte, and I know he's wildly crazy about you. I don't know what the hell you put on him. I don't know if you put something in the soup. Or if I put it in the noodles, but that man is crazy about you.
Why did it say add a moderator to your live video?
What?
It say add a moderator to your live video. Why does it say that?
Hey, Mr. Easy to Love.
I don't know. But one thing, Auntie, tell me if I'm right. Daonte and Lindsey, they both kind of have like the Captain Save-A-Ho mentality. They feel like they could save the world. And they try to save everybody. And you can't have that mentality because you can't save everyone. Everyone
I heard that.
Saved,
I've bonded out 2 people this week, actually. I have the hardest time with turning people down if I feel like they will do better. If I even have the inkling that they're ready to change, I'm there for you. And I get burned about 95% of the time.
That's the
I can't help it, though. It's so hard.
It's
but hard. You know what? The only thing about people who are Captain Save-A-Ho or hoer is that they can't coexist together. Right. 2 rescuers can't coexist together.
Okay, Daonte, you got to step it up. You can't be the rescuer no more. You just got to let me do my thing.
What? Look, man.
No, sir. Call for 2 rescuers to be together.
I got to rescue myself. I'm good.
But you don't be rescuing yourself. But we ain't gonna get into that. I'm gonna digress off of that. But listen,
you know what I got going on. I think.
I what?
You know what I got going on.
Yeah, I do. But Lindsey, if you need, if you want to do an interview, I usually don't do interviews unless I do them in the back with my members. So if you want to do one, reach out to me. I don't do them like in the public and all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then when I do them, I don't release them.
Okay. Well, I appreciate y'all.
Okay, my lovelies. That is pretty much it in a nutshell. Scott gave Lindsey the claps. And that was the first time she said she got an STD. And it was from a 53-year-old man. She is continually bailing out people. She calls herself a rescuer. But she doesn't meant to be institutionalized. So anyway, my lovers, you know what we got to do. We got to hit that notification bell, subscribe if you have not subscribed, and get down in the comment section so we can continue this conversation down below. My lovelies, adios. I'll catch you all on the flip side.